A former Cold War missile roared back to life over California's Vandenberg Space Force Base on April 16, as a Minotaur IV rocket carried a classified national security payload into orbit under the banner of the NROL 174 mission. This was the first time in over a decade that a Minotaur launcher had flown from the West Coast, signaling a renewed use of this specialized vehicle for secretive government launches. The 12:33 p.m. local time launch was conducted from Space Launch Complex 8 and involved a joint effort between the U.S. Space Force, the National Reconnaissance Office, NRO, and Northrop Grumman. The vehicle used was a repurposed Peacekeeper intercontinental ballistic missile, once part of America's nuclear arsenal, now converted into a 4-stage orbital delivery system. At 24 meters tall, the Minotaur IV continues to demonstrate the U.S. ability to recycle powerful military systems into precise spacefaring tools. The mission was executed under the Rocket Systems Launch Program, RSLP, a U.S. Space Force initiative aimed at deploying payloads via small launch vehicles for development, experimentation, and rapid capability demonstration. NROL 174 represents the third orbital mission in the program's latest phase, following NROL 129 and NROL 111, both of which launched from the Wallops Flight Facility in Virginia. The NRO kept its cards close, revealing no details about the number, function, or orbits of the satellites released. This secrecy is standard practice for the agency, which is tasked with developing and operating U.S. spy satellites. It's known only that multiple payloads designed to support U.S. intelligence efforts were placed into space. With over 150 satellites deployed in just the past 2 years, the NRO now oversees the largest government-owned orbital network ever built. Laura Robinson, Deputy Director of the NRO's Office of Space Launch, emphasized the transformation of the Minotaur IV from nuclear deterrent to orbital workhorse. This launch represents the culmination of decades of effort, from development to adaptation, she stated, noting the commitment of everyone involved in its life cycle. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Colonel Steve Hendershot of the Space Systems Command described the operation as flawlessly executed. While the launch itself was a technical feat, it also reflected a deeper strategic trajectory. The U.S. is actively reinforcing its dominance in orbital surveillance, increasingly treating space not just as a platform for support, but as an operational domain in its own right. Satellites launched by the NRO support intelligence across optical, radar, infrared, and signal interception spectrums, vital for precision strikes, threat monitoring, and real-time battlefield awareness. In recent conflicts, such as the ongoing war in Ukraine, these capabilities have proven indispensable. Satellite imagery has provided critical intelligence on troop movements, infrastructure targeting, and logistics. The U.S. military's increasing reliance on these tools underscores their value not only in peacetime surveillance but also in active theaters of war. This expansion of orbital capability is part of a broader U.S. strategy to secure space as a domain of strategic importance. While no known weapons have been placed in orbit, the logic of military competition is already unfolding far above Earth. The growing constellation of NRO satellites supports a vision of total information superiority, gathering, processing, and delivering intelligence faster than adversaries can react. NROL 174 is thus more than a technical success, it's a clear indicator of U.S. intent to outpace rival nations in the race for space-based dominance. By breathing new life into a Cold War relic, the mission demonstrates how older technologies can be reborn for modern needs, streamlining costs while expanding capabilities. It's a blueprint for strategic adaptation in an increasingly contested arena. As the NRO moves forward with plans for a dozen more launches in 2025, its role at the heart of America's defense infrastructure grows more pronounced. The agency continues to modernize its fleet with next-generation systems, offering intelligence at unmatched speed and scale. The successful return of the Minotaur IV to Vandenberg marks not just a historic launch, but a recommitment to space as the high ground of future warfare. In this evolving landscape, the Minotaur's flight reminds the world that the quiet wars above our heads are already underway, and the United States is determined to stay ahead.